Hi everyone, you're welcome to Locks and Chronicles, and it's your girl Opsy baby. How are you all doing? And if you're returning, you guys, you are the real what? The real MVPs. I'm a newly qualified social worker in my first few months of practicing as a social worker. And I have some other videos on social work if you want to check them out. So today I'm talking about social work placement. I think I've had a couple of requests to do a video on social work placement. And here is this video. So if you're interested, just keep watching. I was having a little break and I was rearranging my hair because I thought it looked a bit funny today, but ignore that. So let's talk social work placements. So social work placements are like your introduction to work experience when you are studying social work. But normally, I don't know now that there is COVID, normally you would have 70 days for your first placement and 100 days for your second placement, because your second placement is like your preparation to go into proper employment. So yeah, and what normally happens before your placement is you would need to submit a portfolio to your university, where you would then indicate the area of practice that you would like your placement to be in. So for example, you might say children, you might say adults, you might say mental health, you might say fostering, and there are so many. It's a wide range of opportunities where you can have your placements. When you indicate what area you would like to practice, you need to know that your university may not always fulfill your request. So say for example, for my first placement, I wanted children's services because I'd never worked with children and I had no confidence at all when it came to working with children. So I wanted to challenge myself. So I asked for a children's placement, and I got that because I think there are so many children's placements out there, much more I think than adults. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So I got that easily. For my second placement, I wanted adults, and I specifically requested adult mental health. However, I didn't get that. I got children's services again the second time. So I had, during my social work placements, I had limited experience because I had 2 children's services placement, which was not what I wanted. So first thing you need to know is, even though you go through the process of your portfolio and asking for what you want, you might not always get it. The next thing, when you do get invited or when you get expression of interest from wherever your university sends your portfolio to, then you need to go for an interview. So during the interview, then you agree with whoever is going to be your practice educator, practice supervisor, who will be the person assessing you during your placements and kind of teaching you during your placements. You will meet with them, and if they like you, they will let the university know, and that's where you start your placement. And if for any reasons you cannot agree, then they will let the university know, then the uni can give you another placement. So that's how it goes for the start of the placement. What actually happens, I just need to let you know, your social work placement might not be a walk in the park. For some people it's quite easy and fun, but for some other people, no, it's not. My first placement was a bit milder, but my second placement was quite intense. The first one was looked after children, and the second one was child protection, help and protection. And what you should expect, now this is a joke, but do expect this and do read between the lines. Expect to be everybody's messenger or personal assistant wherever you do your placement. Expect to do everybody's pending paperwork. They will give you paperwork to do. Expect to run errands. Expect to be on duty every day. Expect to be on visits every day. Just expect load of work. And I just want to tell you, this does help in a way that it shapes your attitude. It shapes your attitude to work, because you know that it's what you have to do. Because at the end of the placement, you have to get a pass. If you don't get a pass, you have to do your placement again, depending on your uni or what your practice educator thinks. You might have to do half of it again, or a third of it, or maybe even the whole placement. I don't know, but people do fail placements. So it kind of shapes your attitude and your willingness to work, because you're like, I just want to do everything. Kind of like you have to please your practice educator. Let's just break it down like that to get a pass. But what I want to tell you is, you have to be careful, because what you want to be doing when you start your placement is you sit down with your practice educator, you draw a learning agreement. Your learning agreement is where you kind of, indicate your intentions and the things that you wish to learn whilst you're on that placement. So you have to keep checking what your learning agreement is and making sure that the work that you are doing is fulfilling your learning agreement as well as your PCFs. So if you feel at any point in time that the work that you're being given is not going to fulfill your PCFs or your learning agreements, then you need to speak to your practice educator. There's nothing wrong in doing this. You need to say, I'm not going to be able to fulfill my learning agreement because of the work that I am doing. And you need to ask for varied experience. Yes, you need to ask for varied work, and you need to be prepared to work. So what will happen is, then your practice educator should review your work, and then she'll give you more work that would help you fulfill your PCFs and your learning agreements. And I do know that sometimes a practice educator may misinterpret you or misunderstand what you're saying. It is your duty to make them understand what you would like to get from the placement. And if you feel that they're not listening to you, you of course have your personal tutor that you need to report to. And what your personal tutor will do is to mediate between the practice educator, kind of in a nice way.
Where is the personal tutor?
The personal tutor will be your uni personal tutor, that you're being listened to and that you're being given work that would help you to fulfill your PCS. The next thing I want to talk about as far as social work placement goes is the myth that it doesn't matter wherever you have your placement, you can still go ahead and work in any field. This is kind of true because I had children's services placements for my 2 placements, and I am now working in adult mental health. But as far as it's true, it's kind of really hard. So you're more likely to get a job, I'll be honest with you, you're more likely to get a job in the field where you've done your placements. However, if you've got varied experience, from other things that you've done before social work, then this might be easier for you, because for me, that's actually what worked for me. But it's kind of a good idea to place yourself in placements where you would eventually like to see yourself working. So for example, if you want to work in adults, it's kind of good to get a placement in adults, especially for your second placement. This is really relevant. But a lot of people and a lot of lecturers will tell you it doesn't matter where you do your placement, you can still go ahead and work anywhere, which is true, but technically it's more difficult. Another point that goes with the myth of where you do your placement, will it affect where you work? It's kind of, look at it this way. So you're already working in a particular field and you already have experience of using the systems and the legislation, and you're already used to those legislations and you know them by heart because you've been doing your placement. So this will help you when you go for your interviews. You'll be able to discuss freely and confidently. It will also help you if you get a job in that same field, because then you've got some experience. This is one of the things that I am experiencing now because I'm new to adult mental health and I'm not finding it so easy to learn. I'd say it's more difficult for me because I'm starting from the scratch. Whereas if I'd gone to practice in children's services, I would have already known a lot of the things and been exposed to them whilst I was doing my placement. So just to round this, I was just going to tell you a quick story. So during one of my placements, I'm not going to say which one, I was just to kind of get you in the mood of what to expect. I was actually told that I might be needing to clean babies' nappies, change nappies, children's services. I might have to do some kind of, personal care for children. And I was not happy with this. I said, I'm studying social work, know how to clean babies' nappies. But that was the expectation. And in the end, I was speaking to my brother-in-law, who is also a very experienced social worker, and he told me, if you need to clean poo, if you need to clean nappies, just clean it. Because, that's all it is. You clean nappies and then you go ahead and just get your degree. So yeah, some of the things that I was asked to do, if I knew that they were completely out of order or out of practice, I would query it, question it, in a nice way. But some other things you kind of have to accept that might come your way. So this is kind of to build your expectation if you're doing a social work placement. As I said, it's not a bed of roses, it's not a walk in the park, but you can do it. And yeah, the days are long and they drag, but you will get through it. And just look at the lights at the end of the tunnel, because when you become a social worker, you have your degree, your professional career that you can build and become anything in. So yeah, If you've watched to this point, thank you so much. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Please like this video, share it with your friends, share it on your socials. I would really appreciate that as I'm trying to grow this channel. And if you have any question or any request, I'm always happy to take them. Yeah, just leave them in the comments. Follow me on Instagram where we can chat even a bit more. Okay, until I come your way again, thanks for watching. I love you. Bye.